looking rough. I wish I can extend this camera. Okay. um. Good evening. So the title of my um video. Jesus. Married black men. Married black men opinion as to why black women are disproportionately single. A qualitative study. This is just to back up my. This is just to back up my um what I've been saying. Evidence. There are studies out there. In fact, I just skimmed through two articles, but I paid particular attention to this one. Some married black men opinions as to why black women are disproportionately single. A qualitative study by Tara Hurt, Department of Human Development, Family Studies, Iowa State University, Stacy E. McElroy, Counseling and Psychological Service, Georgia State University, Cameron J. Sheet, the Sacha Health Leadership Institute, Morehouse School of Medicine, Antoinette M. Landon, Center of Development Science, University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Shalandra M. Bryant, Department of Human Development and Family Science, University of Georgia. These were the scholars that did the study. This study purpose was to explore the reason black women are disproportionately single according to the unique viewpoint of married black men. The sample comprised of 52 married black men who resided in Northeast Georgia. Mean age of that sample was 43. Qualitative interviews were conducted in 2010 as part of Pathways to Marriage study. Anyway, this article just goes ahead. It doesn't go really deep in depth, but it gives, well, it doesn't really, the scope is a little bit small, but it does go in depth of some of the themes identified in the study. The themes that were generated from the interviews from these 52 participants. It is a qualitative study. In the qualitative, when you use a qualitative methodology to do a study, you're only getting the experience of your participant or some kind of contextual information. It's in context. It has nothing to do with numbers anyway. I don't want to bore you with those technical language, but just to give you a little bit understanding. God. Anytime I'm trying to talk, my voice box start itching. Anyway, moving forward. Um, Maybe I should have switched this over here. So that way I'm not looking this way. All right. I know something was awkward. I was off my game a little bit. Something was awkward. Just switch my anyway. Recent estimates highlight an important trend. Black women are less likely to enter into marriage or remarry than black men or women from other racial and ethnic groups. Um, they cited American Fact Finder 2011, Banks 2011, Taylor and Tucker, Chatter and J. Cody 1997. These were the sources. But anyway, I don't want to go into those sources. I'm just going to try to summarize and give you a succinct reading. Furthermore, seven out of 10 black women are unmarried, and 3 out of 10, oh wow, may never marry. 7 out of 10 black women are unmarried, and 3 out of 10 may never marry. Let that sink in. Thus, the disproportionate number of black women who are single have been well documented. This demographic pattern is also noticeable that it has received considerable attention from popular media CNN documentary titled The Black in America ABC News Nightline special titled "Why Can't a Successful Black Woman Find a Man?" You guys go find this documentary. I'm going to try to maybe highlight this right here, and if I find this documentary, I will post it up there. You guys can watch it. CNN and ABC News did a documentary about the reason why black women are not getting married. Now I'm gonna go deep into the details. I just gave you guys a preamble, like the abstract, introduced you to what I'm trying to say. So now I'm gonna go deep into the study, but I'm gonna try to summarize it because it's a 26-page study, and I don't want to sit down here and read this study like a newscaster. While I'm reading it, I'm gonna explain it because it's written in a scholarly way. If I just read it in a scholarly fashion, you guys, it's gonna go over some of you guys' head or most of you guys' head. So I have to break it down in layman's English or in the way I understand it, that so that or the way you guys will understand me. This is ridiculous. Excuse me. All right. Social social scientists Social scientists have found considerable heterogeneity in black women's reasons for remaining single. Among those desiring to marry, scholars have identified barriers related to economic instability. These are the reasons, okay? Economic instability, challenges that undermine long term relationship. Example, difficult trusting, current relationship problem, pain from past relationships. Some of us men have suffered the pain from in relationship from women who hold us to standards because of failed past relationship with men in the past. Um, yeah, daddy issues is one of them. When daddy's not in the house and the woman have daddy issues, that counts. Um, when you choose, you don't choose properly, and um, in fact, let me say this. Let me pause and say this. There was a stats that shows 54% of black men are unmarried and childless. 54. About um, about 30 something percent were incarcerated. The other 16% are the fathers of all these children, whether multiple baby mamas or multiple children in one from one woman. 54% of black males in this country are unmarried and childless. Let me just give you that stats. Um, I watched it in the documentary. I've been trying to find that statistics to verify. Um, it's really a popular statistic. But I just haven't found it on the internet to verify it. Anyway, so among those, okay, the scholars have identified barriers related to economic instabilities, challenges that undermine long-term relationships, success, difficult trusting, current relationship problems, pain from past relationships, inequities in human capital between partners, fear of divorce. That's a big one. Black women would rather be baby mamas than be a divorcee. And concerns about readiness for marriage, example, lack of skills, preparedness for marriage. These are all valid reasons. But the major reason that I see in my own anecdotal experience or from what I've gathered from conversation so far is challenges that undermine long-term relationship success, difficult trusting, um, pain from the past relationship. That's a very big one, and fear of divorce. Um, Fear of divorce is pretty much up there. Okay. Other work suggested that some women are happy to remain unmarried given their uncertainties about permanency of marriage of their desire to concentrate on their professional lives. You see, women chose the profession over marriage. But I do have to remind you, 70% of black women in this country, average um, income is around 37K. That source is from the US Census Bureau. You guys can go pull it up. So I don't understand how you worried about the 37K job or professional stuff over a man in the house. Moving on. All right. um, Boyd Franklin, Boyd Franklin and Franklin 1998 have counseled black women in clinical settings on these issues. They have noted that black women are frequently provided with conflicting message about intimate relationship by elders in their families and communities. Yep, poor upbringing. That's what it pretty much just say over there. Um, so I highlighted key points, and I'm just gonna go through all the what I thought was the key points that I should discuss or I should read out here. So, though prior work has sampled black women to learn more about reasons for remaining single, very few studies consider the perspective of the married black men. Basically, what he's saying that there's a lot of studies that investigate this phenomenon, why black women are not getting married, why their marriages are not lasting long. There's a lot of studies, but nobody's always asking about the views of men. They don't care about us men. Men in general, and when I say men in general, at least in all races, they don't really care about us. But black men is at the bottom. This is why I have a problem with when people put out stupid narratives about black women are the most disrespected and black women are the most unprotected. No, black men are the most disrespected and they are the most unprotected. We had to deal with a lot of stuff, you know. But that's I covered it in a video when I discussed about the Tory Lanez Megan Thee Stallion altercation and shooting when she went on a crusade. Um, you guys go check my video in my Instagram. I talked about her, but anyway, I don't want to mix that with this what I'm trying to do in this video today. But anyway, moving on. So the perspective of black men is important. First, while previous research has examined union formation from the perspective of black women, rarely is the perspective of black men reported in studies of marriage patterns in the black community. The voices and perspectives of black men could provide in-depth account and largely absent from the literature. There's very few studies. So that's what this study did. This study went out there and sampled 52 men from Northeast Georgia to gain the perspective of married black men to understand why black women are not getting married. Okay. Sorry. The air is dry. I believe we're in fall. All right. Uh, to respond to our inquiry, the men in the present study offered opinions about relationships by reflecting on their own dating and marital history, as well as the observation of intimate ties in their families and communities. From this perspective, obtaining the opinions of married men is particularly important since men traditionally initiate marriage proposal. I always used to say that men control marriage and resources, women control sex, childbearing, um, yeah, control sex and childbearing. He just said that in the literature. Okay. Second, as parents and caregivers and mentors, these men play an important role in teaching younger generation about relationships, which is largely missing in the black family household. That's why we have no structure and discipline. It just says it's there, right there. I've been saying this. And most of the things that I've been saying just from mere observation. It's in the literature. People have studied this stuff. Okay. Third, black men opinion could help researchers better understand the factors that continue to challenge relationship between black men and women. Okay, moving on. I skipped a lot. Wanting to turn into a newscast or some kind of this thing. So I skipped a lot of the article. I skimmed read it and just going on the points that I want to talk to you about. So yeah, that means something here. I think I did miss something here. So they came up with some teams after the study. They did the interview. Um, they came up with some teams. Some teams were developed after they did the interview from their study participants. Some regular teams that was common between all participants in their interviews started showing up or started coming out or started being reviewed. Should I use that word in a scholarly fashion, right? Some of the things will include education and employment, sex ratio. Again, there's more black women than black men. There's more women than men in this country and in the world. Facts. Incarceration, uh, gender relations, and I will interpersonal trust, and I'm just skipping a lot, and I will explain some little things here. So let's go ahead and talk about gender relations. Over three-fourths of the men in that population sample, those 52 sample of men that they interviewed, discussed gender conflict between men and women in the black community. The husbands noted that many women are misguided in their approach to attracting and keeping a mate. In approach to attracting and keeping a mate. Okay. The men also discussed the negative effect of incarceration on relationships. Further, they responded underscore how the strong independent nature. Oh wow. The independent modern woman, I don't need no man, I can do all by myself, is right there in the literature. They may also discuss the negative effect of uh, incarceration on relationships. Further, they responded underscore how strong independent nature among some black women challenges relationship formation and maintenance. Other respondents cited black men's failure to meet their responsibility. Of course, this has to do with the racial divide, and I have that article, but I don't think I have time to cover that article in this video. It's gonna make this video too boring, and maybe I'll do it on the next topic as a follow up on this video. I think I'll do a part two for this video. Um, anyway, uh, as I'm talking, it's bringing up a lot of things in my head. All right. Other respondents cited black men's failure to meet their responsibilities and pursue education and training, as well as how lack of trust, challenges, and relationship formation and maintenance. The men also describe how the decline in labor market opportunity impacts relationships. Now I'm gonna read this one. This is the one that really stood out to me when I was reading, skimming through. Women approach to men is misguided. 73% of the responded, that 73% of those 52 men that took part in the interview responded in the gender relation category, indicated that black women approach to men is misguided as it relates to the pattern of pursuing a man for relationship and not exhibiting ladylike behavior, i.e., hot girl summer, twerk, I'm a savage, that bullshit. Excuse my French. It's right there. That forms the bulk of the black community culture now. Guess who hold the culture? Us, not our parents no more. Our parents are getting old. So that's what drives our current behavior. It's right there. I'm gonna read it again. 73% of the respondents in gender relationship category indicated that black women's approach to men is misguided as it relates to pattern of pursuing a man for relationship and not exhibiting ladylike behavior. Example, cursing, wearing revealing clothing. You see all that Dr. Miami bullshit, all these slits, I'm a savage type clothing, setting standards too high. I ain't settling. Imagine I was doing a experiment one day on Facebook. So I have a Facebook dating account. By the way, I deactivated my Facebook account for some personal reasons. Every once in a while, I try to go up there and chat females to see how they think because that's helped me get topics for my videos. And this one lady, we started chatting. She looks pretty, a little bit chubby, whatever. You know, I like what I like. you know, a little bit plump. I won't say she's chubby. 28 years old, and she had kids, whatever. But I was not there to really date her because I talked to a lot of women on there just for my own research purpose, right? And she had asked me, um, what are my goals for relationship? And I just spilled the regular Kevin Samuels stuff, and that's what I've been looking for, honestly, even before Kevin Samuels came on the scene. I just, you know, my head wasn't in the right space. I'm looking for feminine, beautiful, inspirational lady that can be cooperative, submissive for long-term relationship or possibly marriage. She said, "Oh, that's a good goal. I like that." Then I asked her, "What's your goal?" The first thing that popped up on the text is, "Oh, first of all, I just want to let you know I'm not settling. You better have your house. You better own your own car. I got kids, and my kids come before you. So if you can't accommodate my kids, then the relationship is not gonna work." This is why men don't want to date women with kids, don't become stepfathers, because you're always gonna be last before the kids. I've dated females with kids before, and it usually doesn't work out, no matter how my intention is good, you know. But that's another story, and I'll make a topic on a video about that. Um, uh, by the way, the post I posted about the three pass stepdaddy, fat girls, and single forever, I had some feedback on my WhatsApp. Most guys were choosing to, leave single forever, or they'll choose stepdaddy. I've tried all three routes. It doesn't work. But anyway, so she said, you better make sure you own your own car, blah blah. She's telling me what she expects of me, that she's not settling. That's okay. Excuse. I'm not. This is when I asked her what she meant by, "What do you mean you're not settling?" I'm like, "How many kids you got?" She's like, "You got three." I'm like, "You already settled." She's like, "What do I mean?" I'm like, "You already settled. You settled with your baby daddy, and you're out here on dating sites looking for stepfathers. You settled. You can't do more than your baby daddy. That's just a fact." "Well, you don't know me for you to talk like I don't need to know you. I just know some of information from the question that I asked you that you provided to me, you know." And I also tried to be rude. She came at me on some bullshit, talking about you ain't settling. You already settled. And I don't even know if those three kids were from actually one guy. I didn't even ask that question. But anyway, I digress. It's set on realistic standards, um, placing more value on a man who can offer material possessions and status. That's the problem right there. Some of you, some women will look at men or some. You know what? If I kind of would like to debate that one because I don't know how Pookie and Riri have so many babies out here because they seem to go to Pookie and Riri. I'm not sure why. If Pookie and Riri are in the streets and they don't have that social status, then why did they have so many children out here? That I am not really sure, but it does make sense a little bit. But I can question that. Um, what else? Not being approachable. Oh, not friendly. Bad attitude. It's right here. I wish I can share it on my screen. Um, and this is all regarding black women pursuing men for relationship. Anyway, moving on. Women's approach to men is misguided. Right there. Cursing, wearing revealing clothes, setting standards too high, placing more value on the man who can offer material possession and status, engaging in controlling behavior, lowering the standards to attract a man's affection. Puki Ray Ray, Jamal Javante, them hood niggas. Okay. Um Not being approachable. I see that in my job every day. Every time I see a black woman, she's just frowning like I did that something. How come when I'm walking down the hallway, I see an Asian lady, the few Middle Eastern lady, and some white women will just say hi, hello, good morning. But I'll see a sister that shares my reflection can't even say good morning or hi. It's almost like if I want to say good morning, it's gonna be a sexual harassment type stuff. The other day there's this one particular female. Well, there's a lot of them, but this particular one I've seen a lot of times, and she will always walk by the coffee shop, and I've seen her locked eyes with me. I tried to say hi, and she just acted like I was Casper the ghost. All right. Last week, Wednesday, I was going back home. I was coming to work. The door that I usually come through was bad, so we had to use a long route. So after work, I forgot that door was bad, so I was going to use that door as an exit. Then I remembered halfway towards the door, that the door was bad. So I did a about turn to go use the other exit, and I seen her. You know what? I could have just told her, hey, that door is bad. You might want to use the front exit or the other exit. But because anytime I see her, she always smile at me and act like I'm Casper the Ghost. Guess what? I acted like she was Casper the Ghost. So I let her ass walk all the way to the door, knowing fully well that door is not going to open. What does it take for you to smile to somebody that share your reflection? So what? If you're married, you're married. You smile, hello, hi. If you're single, where would you know you can find your next husband? Smiling can make a big difference. Just to smile. Smiling can lighten somebody's day. You don't know what people are going through. But and I'm just saying it because I've seen her all the time, and even with the mask, you know that she's not smiling. You can always tell when people smile, even when they wear the mask. I try to smile. Hello, how you doing? I try to be friendly. I've changed that aspect of me. I used to always not used to smile and always have that uh, unapproachable feeling. If people look at me and don't like me at first sight, and I had to change that about me. You never know where you're gonna meet your next husband or your next wife. You got just gotta smile. Maybe they just like you because you smiled, or you made your day, and somehow a coffee date turned into a dinner date, and you never know where that relationship goes. And grandparents later down the road, you know, you have somebody to grow old and die with. Yeah, a simple thing as smiling. It's right there in the literature. Hey, I'm not making this stuff up. Okay, I'm being scholarly and I'm showing you some of the things that I talk about is in the literature. And the things that I talk about are just mostly from my anecdotal experiences and some knowledge that I have about it, but it's in the literature. And I'm just using the literature to back some of my videos that I put out there. Um, I don't want to make this video long because I'm really tired. It's a long day. All right. Incarceration. 49% of the participants cited the effects of male incarceration on the availability of marriageable black men. Uh, I will dispute that because 54% of black men in this country are unmarried and childless. But this is a 2014 study, so I'm not sure. And it's a qualitative study. I'm not sure if what they really factored in, because this is basically on the man's perspective, but it does give context and understanding from the men's side why women, 3 out of 10 women may never marry. This is stark. I thought it used to be 3 out of 4. They say 3 out of 10 in this one. But all right, let's keep going on. So 49% of the participants cited the effects of male incarceration on the availability of marriageable black males. Some noted how incarceration negatively impacts man's ability to provide the kind of support a woman may seek in a partner. They also commented how incarceration reduces the pool of available men in the communities who can meet, date, potentially marry black women, assuming within the race coupling. Now, when you have babies by Pookie and Ray Ray and they got hemmed up by the law, there goes the father not being in the house because of incarceration, because he's selling drugs on the corner or doing something illegal or whatever, even if you just police some kind of injustice that happened to black men. Men are unjustified. Black men are unjustifiably incarcerated and accused of rape, and years later they found that DNA cleared them. Okay, I'm going too deep. Let me stay on scope. This is my favorite one right here. The strong, independent woman. 37% of the men views some independent women believe they don't need a man. It's right here. Oh my God. That's my 37%. Um, so this is what one of the participants was talking about. Queen, married for 7 years at 35 years of age, said they got it in their mind from this independent song. All the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies, all the single ladies. Oh, 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 oh. The lady that sang this song, Married to a Billionaire. There's a new ad, the Tiffany and Co ad. Did you see Jay-Z and Beyonce displaying love? Even Cardi B that is singing all these trashy ass songs, all these whole like songs. She's married and she had a baby in wedlock. Hmm? I'm a savage. Huh? You guys don't know you guys don't know anything. All right. Let me drink some champagne here. I think I'm dropping knowledge, right? I'm dropping knowledge. Mm, I feel like I'm the next Rush Limbaugh. I don't like that guy, by the way, so don't compare me to him. But anyway, so this is what Queen said. They got it in their minds from this independent song, referring to the song titled Independent by Webby. Idepende. She a bad broad. She a bad broad. She got her own car. Well, I'm not, you guys know the song. She a bad broad. She got her own house. She got her own car. You know, that independent lady mindset. I don't need no man. I know how to get to the bag. I know how to get to the bag. Huh? You get into the bag and live in your house, and the hurricane comes and floods your house, or there's a fire, or there's a burglar. Hmm? You don't need no man, huh? Who do you think comes to the house when you call 911? Firefighters. Have you seen firefighters females crew? No. Have you seen all police female crews? No. Men. You need men. Okay? You need men to run societies. You need men um to basically provide structure and discipline. Women can't provide structure and discipline to, to children. You guys rather be baby mamas than be married and have some kind of authority over you to provide that structure and discipline. Ah, Professor TJ is talking, man. Let's keep going. This song by Independent by Webby, Lil Fat, and Lil Boosie, that they can do it by themselves. Can nobody do it by themselves? Ricky, 34 years of age, married for 5 years, agreed. The role I don't need, he agreed. The role of I don't need anything but myself has been contributing factor that a lot of women are looking for past. I hate the way they wrote that. The role of I don't need anything but myself has been contributing to the fact that a lot of women are looking past the benefit of marriage. The men also described lack of knowledge among black women about how to share responsibility for managing a household with a mate, having spent years without a partner or a model. This is crazy. And I'm skipping a lot. I'm just reading what I think I can explain because this is really in depth. And I'm trying to just not make a long videos because I'm trying to increase my views. Um, the men believe that this strong sense of independence is especially acute among some women who are economically self-sufficient. You know, so a woman that's making 150,000. I know a girl that I dated. She has a. In fact, I've dated like girls that own their own houses. They paying mortgages, own their own cars, they run businesses. They usually do have this mindset. Um, um, a man can't talk to them. He ain't my daddy type mentality. You can't talk to them. Basically, your role in their life is just to submit to them. I don't submit to no females. I might not be the kind of alpha male that I want to be, but I'm still an alpha. Because even within the alpha male community, there's alpha upon alpha. But in my household, I'm an alpha. I don't play that weak ass. I'm trying not to cuss. Oh, man. I don't play that BS. You know, why am I ignore red flags and make some mistakes and ignore red flags and just to keep the peace? I usually try to take my alpha back, and then the relationship goes out because they're not used to authority, they're not used to structure, they're not used to discipline. All of a sudden, relationship, you know, she used to make this noise talking about I own my own car, my own house, I earn this amount of money. I dare if a man can tell me what to do. She used to say that stuff. Guess what? She's single, heading to her mid 40s. I'm gonna leave you right there. All that masculine energy, talking 1,000 words per minute, loud, your eyes are opened. That's not attractive. It's not peace. They've been misguided. They don't know what it is to cooperate with a man. Let me keep going because it's going 40 minutes. Lack of men meeting their responsibilities, lack of men going to school, getting education and training, lazy. You know, most of these men they came from single mother household. I don't like to even say single parent household. It's single mother household, baby mama household. In fact, not even divorcees, baby mama household. maybe a little bit of divorcee. I have to throw the divorcees on there because it's not all divorcees that are co-parenting with the children's father. Just in my just in my case. But anyway, the strong independent stance of some black women are regarded as consideration. A fourth factor is discussion of the gender relation concerns the study participant viewpoint on how black men's inability to meet his responsibilities has contributed to a higher proportion of black women not marrying. You know, they say men are not meeting their responsibilities. This is why you need to work in your purpose. You need to work on and walk in your purpose. What do I mean by saying that? You need to create your own direction. That's when I said that in that post on my Instagram. And the guy is looking for what direction to go. Is either to go to the stepdaddy direction or to go to the fat girls direction or to just go this way and live life as a single man forever. But when I will never choose any of those parts. You know why? And I wrote down in the post, you need to look inward and create your own path. You need to walk and walk on your purpose. When you do that, you're creating your own road. You're building your road and you're walking on it at the same time. It's a lonely journey. And anybody that is not on your wavelength, on your energy level, goodbye. That's what I'm pushing. If anybody that is not on the energy level or on the same wavelength I am, okay, we can be from friends from, we can be cordial from afar. I don't let nobody come and distract me from my purpose. Men need to move in their purpose, show leadership. When you're moving in your purpose, you show leadership. So, because of lack of leadership, because men are not working in their purpose, there's lack of leadership, and these women can't depend on men to provide and protect. Instead, they have to go out there and get the bag and act like they're the provider and protector for their children. They have to go out and deal with all this stuff in the world. That's what makes these women masculine. At least it's a contributing factor. All right. I am trying to round this up. Interpersonal trust within the gender relation category. Most of the men, 24%, reflected on various factors that may have prompted women to take self-reliant stance, including their willingness to commit to a partner or trust a mate because of personal experience with difficult relationship in their past and observation of other women, i.e., their mother, sisters, coping relationship troubles with men. My ex-mother-in-law and my ex-wife wrecked my marriage. It was my fault that I let that woman come stay with me for 5 years. I took care of that woman and she wrecked my marriage. Anyway, that's another story. Right there. Decline of labor in market opportunities. Another factor cited that negative effect of men's attractiveness as marriage partners is the decline of labor market opportunities. 22%, 5 men describe the employment challenges for black men. There's no employment for black men. In my job right now, how many black men that work in the director's suite? Castillo, he's Afro Latina, so I'll count him as black. Then me, and I'm not even trying to brag. I'm under that director's channel. I'm just talking about the director's suite. I'm not even talking about middle management. Just the director's suite. It's me and this brother. I don't work directly for the director. I work for my supervisor. My supervisor work directly for him, but we're still under that director's suite. Castillo works for the uh, uh, nursing executive, the chief nursing officer, whatever you want to call her. The rest people are white. Then the bulk of the black men, and I'm not talking about black women because black women work in the call centers, in the front desk. There's some level of black women that work in middle management, but they're not managers. It's very few, but they have presence. but majority of black women work in the front line. Then very few black men work in the front line or that middle management section. You know where most of the black men work? Janitors, EMS, environmental management service, the cleaners. Some of them are technicians, don't get me wrong, some, but most of those guys are white Filipinos, white and Filipinos, maybe very few Hispanics, few black people that are working as technical engineers, very, very few. When I mean engineers, not the corporate engineering type, I'm talking about the technicians. The rest of them are cleaners and janitors, and they are older. They're older males. They're pretty much retired, but they just came back into the workforce because they're single. I guess I don't see rings on their finger. It's bad, people. What do you think your future in this kind of in our current culture will be like? We're out of order. I don't want to blame black women for everything, but we need to come together and change this. We need to start liking one another. We need to start having patience. Okay? You can love somebody but not like them. There's lack of communication. A big problem is disnification of love and what marriage is. Marriage is about duty. It's not about happiness. Life is not about happiness, and marriage is not about happiness. Get that straight into your thick skulls. Happiness is within. A man is not responsible for a woman's happiness. That's not our job on this planet. Our job is to provide, protect, and teach and guide. If you want to be happy, that's your responsibility. I'm responsibility for my own happiness. I'm not gonna go date another woman and put my happiness on her and like she gotta make me happy. Where did that come from? And I'll talk about it. I'll talk about this topic on another video. I need to write all this stuff down. Anyway, let me try and finish this stuff. Marriage education and socialization. More than one third of the men interviewed claim that marriage is an institution, is not being valued for its benefit, including the chance to journey through life with a partner and have someone to grow old with. They disrespect the institution of marriage. We don't respect it. Most men discuss concerns about the lack of marriage socialization among women. They held the view that some women lack information and models on how to work together with a man in a marriage. The woman's upbringing in a single parent household with the only mother was regarded as the main source of this problem. Individual development. 23% of the men focus on issues concerning the development of men and women and the influence of the individual development of their readiness for a committed relationship such as marriage. Concerning males, the respondents stated that some are simply not ready for long-term commitment. And preference for gay and lesbian relationships. And this is the last one, okay? 8 men, that's 15%, made a brief comment relative to how male homosexuality or the practice of heterosexual man engaging in homosexual acts, i.e., down low phenomenon, may play a role in explaining the disproportionate amount of singlehood among black women. I doubt that though. Other men spoke for some women's desire to engage with same-sex partner, turning away from men for relationship, but not from the romantic involvement. Uh, that's dicey right there. It might be a contributing factor, but I don't think its contribution is significant. Um, so result calls attention to challenging the tenor in gender relations. See, what they really focused on was the gender relation between black men and women, with 79% of the sample raising this as a central consideration in the disproportionate number of black women who are single. Gender role strain between black men and women have been highlighted in previous work and is well supported in the literature. Men and women need to know how to cooperate. We have too many emotional men and too many masculine women. We have few emotional men. When I say few, I'm talking about quantity and quality. But a lot of masculine men, whether you're single, with no kids, whether you're a mama, or single divorcee mother, you come up with just challenging a man. You want to fight, whether it's verbal or physical or any kind of altercation. There needs to be some form of cooperation. And how do we do that? We need therapy in the black community, man. Every black person in the United States needs some form of coaching and therapy. But I'm gonna go ahead and round up this video because it's past 15 minutes. I try to um, let me read this one. This is really important. It said, moreover, this result concerning women's independence reflects broader societal trend. Indeed, the rise of feminist movement. I always said that. The rise of the feminist movement has validated the work as a source of women's self-fulfillment and a means to achieve independence from men. You know what I'm saying? The evidence is mixed, however, on whether increased participation of women in the labor force explains the decline in marriage. That's the last one. And I hope you guys understand the ramification of some of these problems and we can be able to fix it at the micro level. It has to be fixed at the micro level. Until we can fix it at the micro level, then it starts spreading out. We can fix it at the macro level. We need to change the culture. We need to change the culture. We need to change the way we move. And man, practice discipline, man. And that will be another video, another topic. Dig discipline will save your life. You know. But anyway, I hope I try to explain this qualitative study. This is a qualitative study from Health and Human Services. Um, yeah, the Health and Human Services. Um, let me see. HHS Public Assets. Um, anyway, you guys can go find it. It's married black men opinion as to why black women are disproportionately single, a qualitative study. This is a 2014 study. Married black men's opinions as to why black women are disproportionately single, a qualitative study. Um, I'll put it up in the title. You guys can copy and paste it, and you guys can go read this stuff by yourself. And the other article, I will uh, discuss that in another video. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope I stimulated your minds. This evening is late. It's 12:07. Actually, it's Sunday right now, so let me go ahead and get some sleep. My eyes are hurting. Um, anyway, good night, and we are out. I need to come up with a better greeting intro and a better outro greeting. Um, I'm gonna figure out a way. I had something in my head. I just didn't write it down. When I remember it, that will how I will come into my show, and when I exit, that's how there will be a particular way that I'll exit from my show. But anyway, thank you for watching my video. Please like, subscribe, and engage. Have these conversations, people. Until we start having these conversations, change is not gonna come. Okay, let's have these conversations, and you have a good night. And stream.